What is up? My name is Soleil. I am the founder, the owner, the CEO. I always just say random words, the everything of Soul Rise Essentials. My name is Soleil. I think I already said that. I'm really excited if you can't tell. But today we're going to be doing another Soul Seed conversation. This is episode 3. We have a special guest, Dana. Hey, Aaron, you are early. Thank you for joining me. Welcome. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of who Soul Rise Essentials is, what we do. So Soul Rise Essentials is a unisex affirmation and apparel brand. We're a lifestyle and wellness brand based in Richmond, Virginia, and we offer affirmation apparel for resilient humans on the grow. We also offer affirmation apparel for the entire family. So we have sizes literally from 2T all the way up to 2XL. And what our apparel does is we inspire you to thrive through whatever situation that you're going through. So like this Soul Tribe necklace that I'm wearing is a constant reminder that I am never alone. It's an affirmation necklace that I created for you all to purchase and to wear, and it literally connects us. So whenever you're going through something, you know how you kind of get fidgety a little bit, you start moving around and touching stuff, your jewelry. When you touch this, it's a reminder that, okay, this is a tough day, this is a tough life, this is a tough moment, this is a tough year, whatever it is, but I'm not by myself. The people that purchase this affirmation apparel, affirmation necklace, bought this for the same exact reason. So I'm bonded with these people and I'm never by myself. I'm thinking of them, they're thinking of me. So I just wanted to give you a quick spiel on that. Dana is already here, so I'm going to bring her in. But real quick, I just wanted to remind you that you can always go to our website, soulriseessentials.com, to shop. So we've got hat options. I have on the original affirmation apparel hat from our collection, but we have like 3 hat options now. Y'all like gold. This is the gold and the black available. So we have that. And then I'm also today wearing the original Pack Light affirmation tee with the pocket sunshine classic. I'm doing classic today. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Dana, I am about to let you in. I hope you are ready. Erin says she's really excited for this session. Thank you for sharing our excitement and for being here to share these resilient stories. So let me accept room. All right, let's try it again. Oh, there we go. Look at you looking gorgeous. What's up?
I'm here. I'm great. You?
I'm doing good. I was feeling a little antsy, so I went on my personal Facebook and I started talking to them. So when you were calling me, I was on the phone and stuff.
I was going crazy for a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm technology illiterate. So what is going on? My daughter's not here to fix it for me. So.
No, that was all me, girl. I apologize. But I'm here. We're here. I'm excited. How are you feeling today?
I was up since 4 o'clock in the morning and I flooded my bathroom. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So that's how the day started out already.
Well, people with CVS have this thing where we get obsessive about taking hot baths because that's the only time that we feel better. And then we get out the bath and we're suffering all over again. And our vomiting is uncontrollable.
Okay.
I mean, you're vomiting.
Don't tell us what CVS is just yet, but we're going to get into it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah. So I am doing well today. I'm doing better, and that's the most important thing. And I'm here, and that's a big thing for me because I'm kind of unreliable because of my health. So
yeah,
it's good.
And you showed up. I'm so appreciative. I just wanted to check in and make sure we were good to do it. So I'm just glad everything worked out the way that it was supposed to work out. So what I want you to do, well, before I introduce you formally, I wanted to say one other thing that I forgot. I always have my notes because I go back and I look at these videos like, dang, I forgot to say that. So I just wanted to remind everybody why we do these Soul Seed conversations. So this is episode 3. We have our guest Dana here. And what Soul Seed conversations, what we exist to do is we share stories of resilience to inform, inspire, engage, and to build connection, global connection. I'm actually based in Virginia. Dana, where are you based at?
Connecticut.
Yeah, so we've actually never met before. We don't have any ties to each other, but the world of Instagram brought us together. So just share with me. You just shared like where you live. Share just a brief story of like who is Dana?
Well, first of all, I'm an identical twin. My sister's Dina, and I basically had this disease or this disorder since I was 13.
Okay.
And since I stepped foot into the hospital, I was locked into the system, the medical system.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to actually escape it. once you get into it. Like the minute you walk into the hospital, you failed
So
because
let's
you're in the system.
sorry, let's circle back just a little bit. So when you say this disease, what disease are you referring to?
Well, I have cyclic vomiting syndrome and abdominal migraines. They're two disorders that I would say they're married without the option of divorcing. They kind of go together. It starts with the pain, the abdominal pain, and then the pain gets really bad. It's the migraine. It's not in your head. It's in your stomach because we
Mm.
have the same serotonin in the gut and in our head. So, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So,
I was asking you about like what those two diseases were. So we went over that. You kind of given us just a spill on who Dana is and you know
yeah,
why we're
I'm a hard work. I try to be resilient. I have no choice but to be. That's the thing. For the people tell me I'm so strong, and I'm like, I have no choice over the matter, so I got to do
yes.
it. So I
Yes.
have to think positive. I think that is the most important thing about being chronically ill is to stay positive because people are at you left and right telling you you're not sick or you're drug seeking, I don't believe you. They have the ability to help and they
Yeah.
choose not to. And
Yeah.
that's my biggest problem with the medical system. Like a lot of people, it's like the medical system here, people think it's great, but when you don't have good health insurance or you don't have the money, they make you do all types of cartwheels to see them, and you got to
Yeah.
see them every month, and you got to sign a contract. If you miss 3 appointments, you're out. So I didn't start therapy until 2020 because telehealth became available to
Oh
me,
wow.
and
Is
that's
that the first
when.
time you ever started therapy?
No, I
Okay.
started therapy like when I was 25.
Okay.
I did hypnotherapy and that was amazing. Right now I'm doing EDMR. And that has been a little traumatizing. I get sick every time I finish with a session, but like I said, I think that it's like me processing all that pain from when I was
Yeah,
13.
absolutely. So let's go back just a little bit. So you live in Connecticut. You said that you got diagnosed with this disease when you were 13. So how many years have you been living with, how do you say it, cyclic vomiting
Yes,
syndrome?
cyclic vomiting syndrome and abdominal migraines. I didn't know until sooner that they're really two different things because now um, I have more of the pain than the vomiting, and I'm thankful for that because if anyone knows that that's a part. But you know what? Someone just asked what EDMR
Yeah,
is.
yeah, I saw that question down there. We're going to get to it too.
Yeah, so I did that, and it really is. It really helps. Therapy really helps. It was like a bad word. It was a stigma back then, but now it's like the next cool thing. It's the new thing to care about your mental health. But I'm thankful that I have that ability to see my doctors via telehealth, and it's just great because if I'm not feeling well, I could turn off the lights. They don't have to see me.
Yeah,
I actually just had an appointment yesterday with my doctor, so it's all good.
yeah.
Um,
So I wanted to circle back just a little bit as well. Talk to me about what a day in the life with abdominal migraines and cyclic vomiting syndrome. What is that? I've never heard of that before. So we can assume what they are, but just
yeah.
give us the layman's terms about what those two disorders are.
All right, cyclic vomiting syndrome is a functional disorder, which means that like there's no test that can prove that you have CVS. So you have to do it based on testing for everything, and it's based on exclusion.
Okay.
So they basically test you for everything under the sun. I've had endoscopies, I had colonoscopies, I had a liver biopsy, and it's not fun. But the migraines it's a migraine, so you have sensitivity to light, noise, sound, smell. The best thing is quiet and a dark room, and there's nothing that you can escape. I think a lot of people who, if you had one word to describe what you go through, most CVSers will tell you torture.
Oh, wow.
You
So
know,
I have
because
a question. Sorry, I'm gonna let you finish your thought.
no, I was just yeah, so basically the cyclic vomiting syndrome, we have uncontrollable vomiting, relentless nausea, and excruciating abdominal pain, and we vomit uncontrollably. So we gotta have sometimes I wake up vomiting.
Mm.
Mornings are very hard for us. Some of us, especially adults, we have it a lot harder because people consider cyclic vomiting syndrome a pediatric disorder.
Oh, wow.
But now a lot of people are actually dying from it, and that's what made me start talking about it, because I was there. I almost died so many times. So I'm just thankful to be here
I'm
and grateful.
thankful. Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to ask you more about the migraine.
Okay.
So are you saying, like, typically, you have a migraine up here. Are you saying that yours are occurring in your stomach?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So the same sensitivity that I would have with this light in my face with a migraine, even though it's in your stomach, you are having those same effects.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So,
And like, there's nothing you can do to escape it. Like everyone knows me as on a first name basis at the emergency room. But in 2016, I had my last sepsis, and I had a port that got infected, and that was like my seventh time
oh,
with
wow.
sepsis. And they punctured my lung when doing it, and that gave me such. They denied it, like they denied it. It was like, you did it to yourself because you've been laying around. I've been laying
Wow.
around for 20 something years, and you're gonna tell me when you went into my jugular to get the port line, you didn't pop. Like, it was, I was vomiting blood for an hour, and that's the last time I went to the hospital. I decided they're gonna end up killing me because I had
Wow.
sepsis. I had sepsis when my daughter was born.
So you have a
I have
daughter.
a port. Yeah, I have a port, and it was infected, and they still accessed it. And so the infection went into my bloodstream,
Wow.
and I almost died after I had my daughter, because I had her April 12th, and on April 13th, um, it's my birthday, and
Yeah.
my face got swollen. I didn't have a neck. I was in a lot of pain. I had a 105 fever. They had to rush me to the cardiac care unit, and I was on all these monitors. And I had to fight that because I needed to see my daughter, and I literally saw the light. Like, I had a near-death experience,
Mm.
and I never like met my daughter, and I really believe that's what kept me alive, because I
Wow.
felt her, like she was calling me, like don't leave me, like it was like we our souls connected, and I was like, I have to stay alive,
Yeah.
and I
How old
fought
is
through
your daughter?
it. She's 11 now, 11
Okay.
going on 21, I think,
Wow.
right?
So she survived and you survived. How was pregnancy with these two
Oh
disorders?
my gosh. I lived in the hospital during my pregnancy. Because we have the cyclic vomiting, we can vomit up to like 50 times, I mean, or even 40 times in a day. So
Wow.
we're vomiting whatever we ate, the stomach bile, and then after that, we start dry heaving, which is the most painful thing because you can't control it. And so and then, what's really hard about this disease is that we suffer so much and no one sees us. We're like, we have an orphan disease. No one
Wow.
really wants to put the money in. We're like, orphans to the system. So like right now, I'm trying to talk about CVS, get it out there, and,
Yeah, you
and
got
show
some
people.
supporters in the comments. It looks like somebody actually has, I don't know if they have CBS or
Keys to
um
Beauty is my girlfriend.
oh,
Hey,
okay. And there's somebody else, Erin, with all these fives and 6755. She's giving you a lot of support, and she was
thank
talking about
you.
how the gaslighting and the abuse from the healthcare system is it's a lot. She appreciates you
It,
bringing light, and she also
but
said, uh-huh.
no, yeah, you can say what she said.
Yeah, she also said I keep bags all around me in my purse at all times. Wow, it's absolute hell. I appreciate you talking about it. And
It is.
8208, your friend said, thanks for sharing. Thank y'all for the love. And we are going to get back to that EDMR question. Was there something else that you wanted to share on this same topic?
Another thing that happens is because we frequent the ER so much, and like they look at me and they're like, she's here again. Like, they get so annoyed because I'm throwing up. No one likes to be around vomit. Like, it's not something people want to talk about, you
Yeah.
know? And that's another problem. People are disgusted with vomiting. So that's another hurdle that we have because no one wants to hear about, you know, and I don't really, I'm an artist and I try not to talk about my pain
Right.
because I'm not going to give power to it. And I
Right.
actually don't say the word. I usually say it PAIN because I'm not giving any power to that word. You know, I refuse it. You know, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
thank you
So
guys for supporting me though.
yes, they are giving you so much love. So I wanted to talk about the type of therapy that you mentioned before. So EDMR is something I actually just heard of very recently. I heard it back in like 2015, but I didn't really put, much thought into it or look into it. And I want you to explain, because you've gone through the process of what EDMR is, a type of therapy. I don't think people realize there are a lot of different types of therapy. So let's just
Yeah.
talk about what EDMR is and what that experience has been like for you and how has it helped you? Has it helped?
I started EDMR in August, and it's basically stands for like eye desensitization, um, something. I have to find actually what it
Yeah.
is, but basically you focus on one trauma, and what they do is keep on bringing you and making you process it and talk about stuff that you don't even know that it bothers you. Like for what came out for me was me not feeling important and feeling less than because of my disease. That's what is always a theme in my therapy. And the last time I had DMR, my higher self told me the only way to move forward is through it.
Yes.
So, and that's what
Yes.
I kept hearing my higher self do. It's like
Yeah.
all these experiences you had, they're going to make you stronger and maybe
Yes.
you can help someone else. And that's when you reached out to me, I was like, I guess I'm going to tell my story,
Yeah,
because
so two things. The first thing that I wanted to acknowledge was your comment about PAIN, right? Because a lot of people, I hear so many people say things like, well, I hope you heal. I hope I heal from the things that I don't discuss. And for me, in my mind, I view that as, I don't want to say you're never going to heal that way, but it's going to be very hard to try to heal from something that you refuse to speak. You literally have to unearth that stuff and say it out of your mouth, write it and deal with it and confront it to be able to at least start to address and heal it. So I don't believe you can keep it inside and it's supposed to just magically go away. It has to come out and come up and
that's
come
what
out.
wait, well, a lot of people don't know is that in 2016 in the Trump administration, he signed the opioid crisis bill. And what that bill did was limit
I,
people.
I didn't hear, I cut out for a second. Can you still hear
Okay,
me?
yeah, I can still hear you. I said that in 2016, Trump administration signed the opioid crisis bill because everyone was dying from opioid crisis.
Yeah.
The thing is that we were in pain management. We had contracts. We had to see our doctors every month to get this. No one wants to be on painkillers every day. I will tell you that. No one. But after a while, you're like, I can't function. Like that word, PAIN, takes so much out of you mentally, physically, emotionally. You
Spiritually.
just want to give up. I literally, and I hate to say this, when I'm sick, I pray for death. I
Mm.
really, it's like, I can't take this anymore. Knowing that I can't go to the hospital because I have no more access to my veins, that was
Wow.
traumatic for me. Like I had two, three, four, five. I had 5 ports in like 5 years. And the
Wow.
last time I ended up in the intensive care unit because I was in septic. I came in septic shock. They had to cut my clothes off. They had to put things up in me, around me, and I was in the ICU, and that was not a good experience. And
Yo.
you know what they said? Like they kept on watching me, and they were like, "Your kidneys are not responding. Your kidneys are not responding." And you want to know something? The nurse who took care of me, she pulled me out to the side and
Hmm.
said, I have CVS too.
Wow.
And she's like, the way that I do it is I take my birth control without that, um, the sugar pill period. She just, because that's mine is hormonally based too. And
Mm.
so she takes that. And then whenever she's on vacation, she allows herself to get sick. If
Wow.
that makes any sense, she'll
Yeah.
allow herself. to
Yeah.
get sick then, but so she was like, I never knew that. I cannot tell you how many people came to me and was like, I think I have it, or I know
Wow.
someone who may have it. But let me tell you what is also bad about this. No one believes you.
Yeah.
No one believes us that we're suffering. And we don't get that type of attention. We don't get good attention. We
Yeah.
get like, oh God, she's here. She's drug
Yeah.
seeking. She doesn't she's not really here. She just wants the drugs.
Do you get that type of attention from the general public too? Like put in the hospital over here, does the general public give you that same treatment?
Yes. My first, which is what I'm dealing with in EDMR, is this my first experience being sick and feeling like I was disgusting because my mom was basically dragging me to the doctor's office, and so I was like, she was dragging me, and I had lost 22 pounds in 2 weeks. So I was like the shadow of death,
My goodness.
and I just remember it being like, I am gonna die. And I remember the security guard, when I came in, he gave me a wheelchair. But when I went to the thing, when I went, I'm getting distracted because I hear people, saying stuff.
Oh, in
Yeah,
the
but
comments.
yeah, she said, but you don't look sick. That it's an invisible disease, so we don't look sick, so they don't believe us. That's
That
part
is
of it.
awesome. That's
Like
awesome.
right now, to be quite honest with you, I'm in pain.
Yeah.
My level of pain is right like a 5 right now,
Okay.
but I have to just manage it. Like I
Yeah.
have to take a lot of breaks.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is because of the opiate crisis bill. They took people who were responsibly taking their medication and they
Wow.
just tapered us. They forced us to get off of it in like 2 weeks, which is the worst pain because they tried to.
Yeah.
I was on fentanyl, the highest dose.
Oh
I
my
was on
goodness.
fentanyl and I had to quit cold turkey. I don't
Wow.
want to live to do that experience again.
Wow.
But everything, like I was on a good amount of pain medication. I could function more, but because of that opiate crisis bill, we had our medications taken away from us, and
Wow.
a lot of us died in the process.
Wow. And you just
And
don't have access to those medications anymore because that bill was signed into action? Wow.
yep, I was on 100 mcgs of fentanyl, and I was on Dilaudid every day, and they took that away from me. And I literally was suicidal because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way
Mm-hmm.
that I could live through this pain. Um, and I had to just get my mind right. I had to
Yeah.
like reframe how I
Yeah.
saw it. It's like, but I'm gonna tell you what really healed me.
Mm-hmm.
Art, art
Mm-hmm.
really healed me.
Yeah.
I stopped suffering from really serious attacks when I started painting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like intuitive. If you asked me to do another painting like
Mm-hmm.
that, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you couldn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
one of a kind.
Yeah. I wanted to share a couple things. So, and we're going to talk more about your art as well. So I'm looking in the comments and it actually looks like there are quite a few people that have CVS, which is interesting because I did some research in the midst of us kind of prepping for this. And I went on Instagram and I searched for abdominal migraines and I searched for cyclic. I used to say cyclic, so I'm trying not to say cyclic, but
That's
cyclic.
fine. That's also cyclic. You can say cyclic or cyclic.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
searched both hashtags and I actually, it wasn't a lot, but I actually did find a community on there. I was like, I wonder, because I know you're not really big on social media. So I was like, I wonder if she knows like there are other people in the digital space that are sharing their stories. And it was amazing to me. And I scrolled for a while because I didn't see a lot of Black people at first. And I was just like, okay, has this been known as like a white disease or what? But I kept scrolling. I'm gonna tell you something. There's a girl in my area that just launched a business. And there's a like Instagram famous girl that had on her lipstick. She does a lipstick line, right? And I was scrolling through the hashtag that I was just telling you about, and I saw the girl, the model. So she actually has CVS as well, and I'm like, and she was a Black girl. That was the first time I saw like a Black person with all the
You want to know?
hashtags, and
Yeah.
it was
You know
amazing.
that you know Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah,
You know that doctor, the Black woman?
yeah,
I forgot her name.
yeah.
Her daughter has CVS.
Oh wow, I knew her daughter was sick because I saw her on a TV show, but I didn't know it was CVS.
Yeah, she
Interesting.
has CVS. And because of, I always told people that CVS is not going to get the attention until someone famous gets it.
Yep. Yep.
Because we are expendable. We are not important because we are disabled and sick, and we just hurt the system because we take. But
Yeah.
that's not the case, is we suffer. And
Yes.
it's like they have the ability to help us and they choose not to. I
Yeah.
go to a pain management clinic. The first thing they said to me was, you're on Medicaid and I can't give you painkillers. That's the law. And I was already getting them, and I was like, are you doing this because I'm black?
Mm.
And he was like, no, it's not because you're black. But
Do
when they
you?
come,
Uh-huh.
yeah, no, it's just so frustrating because you're suffering
Yeah.
and they're like,
Do you
I can't
think
do it.
that
I'm not
part
going to
of
take you on as a patient. You're too much work,
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I was just gonna say. Do you think that part of the treatment is because they have there's such a lack of information about CVS?
And there's a lot of misinformation. Like, for example, um, there's this disorder called cannabis hyperemesis syndrome, which is when people smoke too much marijuana, like chronic marijuana, and they have these, like us, we get obsessives about taking our hot baths. And I'm telling you, I burned my whole arm because the pain, like the pain of the hot water cancels out the other pain, and then
Yes.
when you get out, you're like, oh my gosh. My sister just joined. Oh
Hi,
my God.
sister. Hey,
My older
Wanda.
sister. So yeah, no, there's not lot of Black people that have this. And we have it a little bit harder because it's so apparent that they're not treating us the same.
Yeah.
Like I could be like dying and some white person goes in and she's like, oh my God, I broke my finger. And they're like, oh my God, stop what we're doing. Let's get this woman in a stretcher. Like I like
Wow.
literally crawl in. I've crawled in to the doctors. I mean, I've crawled into the ER, and it would take them like 5 minutes because what's the first thing they think? I'm drug seeking. The second thing they think, they don't believe I'm just acting, you
Yeah.
know?
So
And
great.
then like someone says, but you don't look sick.
Right.
It's an
It's
invisible
an
disorder. So
invisible
like
illness. Yeah.
I could look fine right now, but I'm nauseous and I'm in
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
And it's something that's constant, but you have to tell yourself, you know what they tell us? You have to learn how to live in your pain.
Oh my goodness. You know, I'm really proud of you and all these other ladies in the comments that share the same disorder because y'all are creating community and you're speaking about this. Everybody that's on this live right now and that will watch the replay, they will finally have known what CVS is and what the abdominal migraines are because before I had no idea this even existed. And I'm going to share how we met because it's kind of going to roll into what I just said. I have a twin sister and I connected to that because like you don't really meet twins all the time, right?
Yeah.
But I saw your sister speaking on an Oprah segment online, and I love to watch. I don't really do podcasts a lot, but I love to watch motivational videos and learn about things. And I follow a couple neuroscientists, and one of the neuroscientists but not, actually not a neuroscientist. It was another lady on the panel with your sister, Dr. Nadine
Surgeon
Harris.
General of California, the
Yes,
general surgeon. Yes.
Dr. Nadine Burke Harris. She wrote a book that changed my life. So anytime I see her doing something, I watch. She was on there, and that's how I got introduced to your sister. And she said, I'm a twin. So my eyes kind of perked up. And
Yeah.
then she was talking about like her experience, y'all growing up in the Bronx and her speaking a certain way and, you know, still going on to be an educator. I resonated with that because I'm a country girl from Georgia. I'm from the hood. I don't speak a certain way. So I'm like, who is this girl? So I started to look her up. And then I'm like, okay, I know who Dina is. I see all of this amazing work that she's doing. Who is her twin sister? You know, I want to know who that is. So I'm nosy and I found your blog. And I saw that you had an Instagram page and I said, well, I'm gonna just reach out to her and let her know I see her, you know, because I feel like sometimes my twin has kind of felt in my shadows a little bit because I'm so outspoken. I do a lot of things. And I just wanted to celebrate both of y'all, but also just send you a message after reading your blog because I read mostly about the part where when you were sick in college and making it through college as sick as you were. And I just wanted you to know, like, I see you, and I'm grateful that you are still here, because hearing about everything now, and even the conversations we've had prepping for this, it's a lot. And I don't have any words. I don't think that I don't, what do you say? You know what I'm saying? So all I offer is my heart and my thoughts, my prayers, and just my heart to you and everybody else that is dealing with this. I can't imagine, I know what it's like to live with an invisible illness, but mine is not. I'm not in pain every single day. I don't have the same exact experience with the healthcare system. Very similar, but I don't go as much as you have to, and these other ladies have probably had to. So I just needed you to know that I see you, and I'm grateful that our conversation led us here, because I didn't ask, for you to share your story. It was just something that kind of birthed out of our conversation, and I just wanted to say that to you. So
Thank you. I'm not an attention seeker, because I have this disease and I get enough attention, like, hey, throw up, like they're gonna remember me. They're gonna remember me. Oh God, it's the vomiting girl. Oh God, just get her in the room, close the door. Like, hey, when you're sick, you got to do whatever you have to do to get into the hospital, because they see you don't look sick. Okay, she's going to be over there.
exactly.
You have to, sorry, but you have to overact anyway, because they're not going to believe you. And it's not like we're overacting. We just got to show them our truth.
You have to show them your true pain in that moment, because for some reason when you go to the ER, like, your environment changes, so you kind of have to be like, okay, I got to open my mouth and speak. My name is Dana. I'm going through this, but really you want to vomit right now. You know what I mean? So you have to just block all that aside and be like, look, I'm coming in here in a full episode right now. You need to see this. I'm not gonna hold back to tell you my name. You know what I mean? So I get it. No, it's not an act, but it's the truth. So I get it. There's some comments in here. A nurse, she said, I've been a nurse for 40 years and I've never heard about this. Thanks for sharing and enlightening me. Look at that. So a whole nurse, and she had never heard of CVS. So keep using your voice in whatever capacity, whether it be your art, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, or your blog. Somebody else said your blog should be a manual for others suffering at that stage. Dana, you are amazing. Don't hold it in. Exactly. That's what somebody said. So we see you, sis, and you absolutely.
You guys want me to cry because my tears, I'm trying not to let it come down, because it's just over 20 years of just pain and suffering. It gets to you mentally. And so now I suffer from PTSD, and like I'll have random panic attacks, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. Oh my God. So I feel sorry for my mom and for my daughter, because they're like, oh God, it's mommy again. And she's like, going crazy. But you know what? I was
gonna say it has to take a toll on you mentally too.
It does take a toll on me mentally, and sometimes that mentally can become physical. So we have to, as chronic illness sufferers, we have to be very careful about our emotions, and we need to build boundaries. It's so important to build boundaries. Even with your doctor, you have to fight for yourself. If the I had a they, like I said, they punctured my lung, and it took them 3 days to listen to me. I could not breathe. I was like, and I couldn't breathe, and I kept telling them, I'm like, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And it was so weird, because the nurse that day was for me, her name was Shayna, and my older sister's name is Shayna. And my sister's friend Donica called her and said, you need to look at this girl. She's suffering from something. So then when they did the x-ray, they're like, oh, yeah, your lung is punctured. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
I've been trying to tell you that for 3 days, that something was going on.
And that's what we go through. And you want to know what you can't sue them.
You can't sue them for like malpractice, or what's the other word?
Negligence. I would be rich if I sued anyone. But you know what? In Connecticut, the statute of limitations is only 2 years. And it took me about 2 years to heal. And I wanted to talk about healing. Healing is not final.
Yes.
Every day we got to work towards healing.
Yes.
And that's what I'm trying to do with my art, and like just telling my story, because honestly, I was like, I'm not gonna tell anyone my story. Who's gonna care? I'm just sick. And again, like in EDMR, that is a big a big thing for me, like abandon me, feeling like a monster, get away from her, you don't know what she has. That affects you. It
Yeah.
affects you. And as a 13-year-old, and I'm not gonna like my mom's here, but my mom's a very strong woman, and she kind of made me strong. Let me tell you, I was like 88 pounds, throwing up everywhere, going all through New York City, Valhalla. We were going everywhere because my mom was like, someone needs to take care of my daughter. We went
Yes.
everywhere, and the first thing that they said to me is, when my mom left the house, my first time in the hospital, the doctor said to me without anyone, "You're just doing this for attention."
Oh my gosh.
And I was reading a magazine and there was like models in it. And she was like, "You're doing this for yourself so you could be skinny.
Oh my gosh.
And we're not gonna pay for you anymore. You're tomorrow and you're leaving the hospital tomorrow and that's that." So I kept going back and back and they didn't tell me what I had. We just kept going back and going to
So this was
different
before
hospitals.
you turned 13 and got your diagnosis.
Yeah, it was before my diagnosis. I cannot tell you how scary it is when you lose 22 pounds and you can't eat and you
Yeah.
have no energy and you're in so much
Yeah.
pain and you're vomiting and you're like, "Oh, it's the stomach virus." The
Mm.
stomach virus is not like on for like the whole summer.
Right.
Um, I had to take time off of high school, so I taught myself in high school.
Mm.
And in college, I did the same thing. I taught myself because you want to know something? People were hating on me in college because I got away with missing class
Yeah. Because you
and
were
they
sick.
didn't.
Yeah.
But they didn't understand. I would rather be in class. I really had to do the reading. I had to do the work. I had to do everything. And I didn't like a lot of people that it was a predominantly white college, Trinity College
Whoop,
representing.
whoop.
They treated me really well, but some of the people there, the students there, they weren't not. It was like you definitely felt like you didn't belong because it was such a prestigious
Yeah.
like
Right.
college, and I was coming from the Bronx, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And so it was like it wasn't like a big adjustment because I was already accustomed to going to boarding school. I went to boarding school with an illness. Why I did that, I don't know. I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm in therapy because of that place.
I don't even know how you listen. Reading your blog, and I didn't go to a prestigious university. I went to a vocational school for like 6 months. I don't have formal college education, but just knowing what it takes to be in school, and you literally, like you said, you would be in between writing a paper or something and going back and forth to the bathroom to vomit. I'm just like, what? And you got through school? Like it blew my mind. So shout out to you. Go read the comments real quick. We're gonna talk about your mom. Well, I just want to say one thing. Shout out to her for advocating for her child, and for everyone that advocates for themselves. Understand and know that it is okay for you to advocate for yourself when you go to a hospital. These doctors they've been trained, they're smart, and they know what they know. They know what they've been trained, but you know your body and you know your experience. So if you gotta go 50,000 times to get a diagnosis because you know that it's not just stomach pain or a stomach bug, you need to go. That's how I got my diagnosis from my invisible illness. I kept going. So shout out to
You
your
didn't
mom
give
for,
up.
yeah, I did not give up. Shout
You
out to
were
your mom for
resilient. That
advocating for you and for you for advocating to yourself. Let me go get my phone charger real quick. Sorry.
Thank you guys, the people that I know. Thank you guys for supporting me. I appreciate that. This is my first time talking about my disease, so thank you.
You know, one of these days I'm gonna get it right and have my phone fully charged before I do this. But and then with the
Oh,
iPhone, when your phone starts to go dead with iPhone, I went and I played back my last SoC conversation, and I was so blurry. And I think I looked fine on my screen, but when I played it back, I was so blurry. I'm like, is it because my phone was going dead? Anyway, they said, we salute you, Dana. Thank you so much for sharing. CVS comes with a huge amount of brain fog, amongst other things you push. I know what that brain fog is like. Oh, it's a lot. So hold on, I want to look at my notes and make sure I didn't miss asking you something. And we're gonna talk about this art, honey. Talk about that. What brings you joy, Dana? I think I kind of know the answer, but what brings you joy?
yeah, you kind of know the answer. You know what? For us, it's the little things that count. I'm thankful and I'm joyful when I'm not suffering, when I'm with my family and when I'm home. I'm a very homebody when I'm with my daughter, and when I'm painting or doing art. Like we have to like separate like our brains and try to like distract ourselves. And I was in therapy and I told my therapist, I was like, I always wanted to paint, but
Mm-hmm.
I have no training. I said it because when I was in high school, they didn't allow me to take art,
Mm.
advanced placement art, but I knew that I'm very creative. I've always known that. I was doing people's hair in high school. So that was my first medium, was doing hair.
Same.
And then I said, okay, let me do art. And so I started doing art. Girl, it's expensive, but I decided to be stupid and choose fluid art as my medium. I didn't know what it took, but it takes commitment. And the reason why I picked fluid art, like to be my medium, is because it represents how my illness is.
Yes.
Like you can't control fluid art. You can control it as much as you want, and it is what it is. You can never recreate it, and I can never be recreated. Even though I'm a twin, I am unique.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And fluid art, you can't control it.
Mm-hmm.
And my illness, I can't control it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go with the flow. And fluid art is flowing.
Yes.
And I like flowers too because it reminds me of flowing.
Yes.
So you gotta let yourself go with the flow.
Yes. I love that. And people can purchase art from you, right? Are you taking commissions or do you just have
Yes,
prints? What do you
yes.
offer?
I offer prints,
I like how she
commission.
connected that too, Kay. Sorry, I was responding to a comment. She said she loved how you connected that. Me too.
Yeah, so I do commissions. I have some products. I have prints. Thinking about, doing a calendar, but what the problem is with us, I'm on Medicare, right? So we have to stay poor to get our medication. So I have to kind of like, that's why like what I'm trying to do right now, which is very important to me, is working on this project, the Help Mommy Heal project. I don't know if I told you about that.
Yeah, we talked about it offline.
Yeah, so when I was in 2012, they told me I was dying. They
Mm.
couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And they was like, it is what it is, you're dying. And then I was like, let's go to Yale because I'm in Connecticut. I said, let's go to Yale. They wouldn't let me go because they said you can't go because you don't have a diagnosis. I was like, are you serious? So I almost died 2012 because I kept going back and forth to the hospital. They had to do a spinal tap. Nothing came back positive, but I had fevers for 3 months consistently every day.
Mm.
I was like, I didn't know what was wrong with me. Finally, and I kept going to the emergency room, and all they were doing was drugging me up and like kicking me out. And most times I would welcome that, but it wasn't welcome this time.
Yeah.
So uh, they said, it is what it is. You probably should call your family and have them
Mm.
come, see you. And that's what my sisters did. My older sisters in California, my twin sisters in New York, and they came, and some friends came.
Mm.
And I had a panic attack right there when they were like, you're gonna die. I have a 2-year-old. And they said that in front of my daughter.
Mm.
She was 2 years old, but I remember her say, I don't want mommy to die. I want to help mommy heal. She said that.
Girl,
And
you gonna make me cry.
yeah, that was when, and she has to
Wow.
take care of me,
Mhm. So she
when
helps
I'm
you a
really,
lot.
she does. She helps me, like she checks on me. Sometimes, she's a kid, so she'll get into the computer a little too much, but
Hmm.
that's her escape is
Hmm.
she's also an artist. She
Okay.
does beautiful illustrations as well. And I obviously push that with her because I'm always trying to create beauty from my pain. A lot of
Yes.
artists keep telling me, why don't you paint your pain? Why don't you show people, your pain? And I was like, why?
Mm.
I don't even like saying the word.
Mm.
I want to show them that, even though we have all this pain, all this suffering, we're like a lotus flower. We're still pure. We're still resilient. We're not going to give up. We don't have the choice.
Yes.
That's really what it is. People are
Yes.
like, oh, you're so strong.
Yes.
Yeah, I am strong, but I don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
but that I'm working on that Help Mommy Heal. And I want to give sick mothers and their families access to art, because art is therapy.
Yes.
Art has healed me in so many ways. When I'm sad, I go downstairs, I try to use bright colors. I actually was nervous today, so I was in the studio last night. And so I created some pieces, and I love doing it, and I love people. I want to share my art with the world because
Yes.
part of me, it's a part of me
Yes.
that I'm giving, and I want to give people positive energy. I always like pray around it and give it, and when I get the canvas board, I think about what I want to express.
Yeah.
Like if it's something happy, I just
Yeah.
get
Set
with
that
the energy.
intention.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. And everybody that purchases from you when it's hanging up, because I'm gonna get something. So when it's hanging up in my house, I'll always think about you. And if you're having a bad day and you're in pain that day, I'm looking at that and I see your beauty. And even though you feel how you feel, I see your beauty. So it's my hope that other people, when they purchase, they feel the same thing. And I'm sure they will. So I'm glad that you found something that brings you joy. When I do these soul seed conversations at the beginning, I'll ask people, what do you do? And that's just like their profession or something like that. And then at the end, I'll ask, what do you do? I'll ask again. And that second answer is, what do you do to heal? How are you thriving? How are you getting through what you're going through? And your answer is art. You create.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think
create out of PAIN.
yeah.
I let my trauma be my treasure.
Yes. Oh, wow. I like that. Let my trauma be my treasure. Okay. I do
Yeah.
have, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's what I try to do. If I could help one person
Mm-hmm.
heal, another Black sister heal, or
You got some
that.
white sisters in the comments too. We helping them too, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm both. So I'm
Yeah.
representing. I'm half white and half Black. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And
But like,
everybody
thank
else,
you.
other people too, that are from other parts of the country and have different backgrounds, them too, that we don't even know about.
And another important thing about cyclic vomiting syndrome is access to care. We don't have access to care.
Mm-hmm.
We only know of like 4 doctors that
Wow.
that specialize in CVS. And you have to travel to see them in Missouri, in Ohio. In Ohio, there's actually a cyclic vomiting syndrome center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but a lot of the people retired, and they're realizing that CVS is a genetic disorder with maternal inheritance. So when my daughter was born, I was already feeling guilty. I was like, oh God, what if I give her my disease? But you shouldn't think that way. You should always think positive, because positive thoughts are stronger, and you bring positive people around you. Because I know when I'm sick, I can be the worst person to be around because I'm miserable.
Right.
And so I like to be by myself because I know misery loves
And you don't want to
company.
spread that to other people.
Exactly. It's contagious. It's contagious.
It
It
is.
really is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I have 2 more things. What do you want the world to know about Dana? And it does not have to be related to your sickness, or it can.
well, that's a good question.
Yeah,
A
if you
really
if you
good
could
question.
go to a rooftop and just scream it out loud and everybody in the world could hear you say it, what do you want them to know about you?
That I belong here.
Yeah.
That I am important, and you can't bring me down. Try, because that's going to give me the strength to just prove you wrong. Like, I'm just proud. I just want people to know to not give up, to stay resilient, to never blink in the face of adversity. Never blink your eye in the face of adversity. So I try not to blink my eyes, because I want people to know that I'm here for a reason. And another thing is, I wear red lipstick.
Yeah.
When I'm sick, I wear red lipstick
Okay.
because I don't want my illness to take too much of my power. So I put red lipstick on even when I'm sick, because
And your
I want
beauty, because the sickness can change your appearance. So that's you've
yeah,
given yourself your power and your beauty and your sexy back.
yeah, I'm looking for my sexy back, but
Yeah.
I still got a good face, I think. So
You're
still,
beautiful,
I think I
honey.
still I can still get a guy. Hey
That
guys,
is
I'm
hilarious.
scared.
I was gonna say hit her up in her inbox, but I don't got nothing to do with that. So
Hey, you do the speed dating. You know what to do.
I do the speed dating. That's a whole nother thing, not Soul Rise Essentials.
I know, but it's and I'm thankful that you reached out to me, and I have had a lot of people reaching out to me ever since my sister did it, and I'm thankful. I'm very thankful for you letting me share my story because for a long time I didn't want to. My family would always be like, "You should share your story. You wrote a good book. You know, like the stuff that you've been through. No one been through the stuff that no one knows." For example, after 7 days in the hospital, your people who are visiting you should not be paying parking. No one knows that.
Mm.
That's the things. There's a lot of like policies that I know because I like I told you, I'm a
A
professional
professional
patient.
patient. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so and so that's why I joke around and I tell people if I'm going to be a patient, I'm going to be a good one.
I
And you
love
want
it.
and a good patient is a bad patient. A good
Mm.
patient is a difficult
Because
patient
they
because
know and they do their
because
research. Yeah.
yeah, because if you're not a good patient, you're just going to let them put you on 151 medications that are not going to heal you. And I'm telling you, I'm trying to get off of medications for years because it's so hard to get off of them.
I have a
And they
quick
don't.
question on that.
Uh-huh.
Have you and anyone experiencing CVS in the comments, have you guys ever looked into herbal remedies?
Oh gosh. Yeah, my mom is in the background said, my mom is in the background said, been there, done that.
Okay. Hey, mom. No, I was only asking because with my invisible illness, herbs have really helped me a lot. So I was
I
just curious.
no, I use cannabis. That
Yeah.
is how I eat. It helps with the nausea, but it's expensive and insurance doesn't cover it, so you kind of have to limit
So
yourself.
outside of cannabis, because I hear people say that a lot, like when I ask about herbal things, they say cannabis, which helps a lot of people, but we'll talk offline too. I just wanted to ask you about a couple other herbs, and someone else in the comments said yes. If you guys can
Kratom,
yeah, I was gonna say, huh?
you know, kratom.
No, I haven't. I haven't heard of that one.
It's a plant from like Malaysia, and it has pain. It helps with pain.
Okay.
Yeah, it says you try everything. We do try everything.
Yeah.
But like it's like coffee. It's in the same kind of family, and it helps with pain. It
Okay.
also helps with withdrawal if you're getting off of a substance.
Okay.
It helps with that. But again, it's something that you have to buy, and you got to take the chance of buying it online. And you're like, what am I taking? So there's always, that because it's not FDA approved,
Right.
it's like a chance you're taking.
Right.
But like I tried everything. I literally
Okay.
we went like I told you the last time.
Yeah.
I went to see a voodoo guy, and he told me that I was cursed,
Yeah.
and we did this whole thing. I mean, it was
It was a
$1,000.
thing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
The next day, I was still sick.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was just like, but we tried everything. We were so
Yeah.
desperate. We went to see a chiropractor,
Hmm.
and we were sick. You want to know where he put us? In the closet. He
Huh?
put me, I got sick. He had another appointment, so he shoved me in the closet. Me and my
What?
mom. Yes.
What in the world?
That's just one of the many
Ma'am.
crazy things that
I was
people
about to say,
do.
I know you got stories for days.
I do. That's why my sister's like, I don't know why you're not writing because
Listen,
this
we're
is
gonna get you
gold
a
right
book
here.
deal. Somebody's gonna let you write a book and they're gonna pay for it. I'm speaking all this into existence. You ain't gonna have to pay for nothing. You just gotta show up and write. And you just tell the story to somebody, they'll write it for you. Like
I'm a writer. I'll write my
oh,
own
that's
story.
right.
You
That's
have
right.
to
You are
write
a
your
writer.
own story. I'm not having anyone else tell my story.
That's
It's my
right.
story.
Yep. I'm sorry.
Like
I
my
should have
sister.
remembered that.
Yeah, my sister could talk about me. Like we are obviously identical twins, and she is my inspiration, and I am her inspiration. And it was very hard for us
Yeah.
as identical twins to be separated like this. You want to know what they told my sister when she
What?
was in school? How does it feel to be the good, the well one, and not the sick twin. Like, why do you? Who asked us
Wow,
that?
yeah.
My next door neighbor just one day, because I have the ambulance coming and going, like, like it's my car. So he just stopped me one day and was like, "Why are you so sick?
Mm. What if
You
I
get
knew I
so."
would tell you? Oh my
I know,
goodness.
like, and then he said, "How do you pay your bills?" People are so nosy.
Yeah.
They always want to know what's going on, but they don't know the work that I have to put into to get what I have.
Yeah. Have you
I
ever been able to work with your condition and having it so early?
um no, gosh,
Well, no,
no.
if it's too loaded.
No, it's not
Okay.
loaded. It's not loaded because I just worked for I worked for my college after I graduated, and they gave me a dose of reality
Mm.
because they made me resign because I
Mm.
kept taking appointments. And I'm thankful for that because that was reality hitting me in the face. Like, I could get through college by, like, going through the system and knowing it, but like after 4 months they were like, you should resign. We
Mm.
won't fight unemployment or whatever.
Mm.
And then I was obviously that took me, brought me to a sad place. Like, oh my gosh, I have so much to offer, and because I'm sick, I'm not
Yeah.
important enough.
Right, right.
That's how we feel. Chronically ill people feel like we're not important because when COVID happened and everyone had to be in isolation, it was hard for everyone. But guess what? We were doing that our whole lives. When
Yeah,
it's flu season, I don't leave my house
right.
because I will end up in the hospital and could possibly die from the flu. So I have to be very careful. I have to be careful with vaccinations. I actually have to go back to get a Hep B because the vaccination I got just disintegrated. So
Mm.
I have protection from I have the weirdest things. My body just loves to betray me, but it's a fight, and you know what? I'm gonna win eventually.
Yeah,
I have to think that way,
yeah,
and my family doesn't allow me to give up. If I
yeah,
want, I tried. It
yeah,
doesn't work for me. Being
yeah,
depressed just is not for me.
yeah.
I do like to give into it a little bit sometimes. I need to cry. I might cry, but I can't let my family see me suffering
Yeah.
all the time. But
I'm
think
proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And I'm proud of your family. And like you said, for them standing beside you and just not letting you give up, because being sick every day and in that much pain, it could be very easy. Just be like, look, I can't do this no more. I get it. So I see
I've
you.
been there.
And I want to read some comments real quick too. So Yawande was sharing her experience. She just got recently diagnosed with adrenal fatigue syndrome. My doctor thinks it was caused by COVID, and her primary recommendation for treatment is ashwagandha root. Meds are simply not always necessary. So you're during the herbal treatment thing.
Yeah, I know about ashwagandha. I'm religious about ginger. I
Okay.
have that every single day. It helps. It
Okay.
helps more than uh it helps with gas, it helps with the nausea.
No,
Like
yeah.
I make the root. My mom makes the root. She's
Yeah.
from the West Indies and we call it ginger beer.
Okay.
So she'll create it and then she'll give it to me and I have that every morning, like
I
with
love it.
the lemon. And I absolutely the funny thing was is that my doctor did a study on me
Mm.
and it was about the adjunctive use of ginger in the management of cyclic vomiting syndrome.
Mm.
And like if I don't have it for a day, I'm miserable. I'm like, man, I'm nauseous.
Wow.
So you don't realize things work until you don't have them. Like I
Yeah.
stopped taking the medication and I'm like, oh my God, why I feel like my hands were shaking. And I was like, I went to my doctor and I was like, Dr. Tallworker, I don't know what's wrong with me. My hands are shaking. He's like, yeah, that's what's gonna happen when you're getting off of it. And I was like,
Mm.
is it gonna stop? Every morning, that's how I wake up. But he
Wow.
said it will go away. But I'm not gonna let anyone get in the way of my success.
Yeah,
But
girl.
success for you is not the same success for me.
Right.
Success for me is getting through a day
Yes.
without vomiting, getting through the day without being in pain, able to go outside and get some sun. Because I don't know if I told you this, my whole pregnancy was in the
Yeah.
hospital. Yeah, so I didn't have any sun. I told them that I was going crazy. I
Mm.
really did tell them that. So
Mm.
then they had me go outside and go for a walk around, like,
Wow.
and I was grateful for that. But everything happens for a reason because I don't like the doctors told me that I couldn't have children. So, and I had one.
Yeah, whole 11-year-old, 11 years later.
But her name is Mila,
Hmm.
and that's short for Milagros,
Milagros, miracle.
which means miracle.
I
because
love
it
that
was
because she is.
a true miracle. She's $1 million baby. She's
Yes.
definitely over $1 million. 3 days in a hospital is around 20,000.
Mm,
I spent over 1,000 days going to the hospital. I was in the hospital my whole pregnancy. I was getting fed through my veins. I don't
mm.
know if you see that. Like, that's why that's covered, because I had
Oh,
infected ports and I try
yeah.
to cover it
Is that
up.
a lotus flower?
Yes, it is.
Okay, come
Yes.
on. I see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So, I should have taken more in consideration on how I did it, but I was just so like, I just wanted to cover the scar because people kept on asking me questions like, what happened to you? Were you shot or do you have cancer? Because a lot of people who have cancer
The
have to get
ports.
a
Yeah,
lot
my
of,
mom had one right there.
yeah. So, and there's times when the nurses didn't know how to even access it, and I would have to do it myself. And when I was pregnant, there was a shortage on anti-nausea
Oh,
medications.
Lordy.
So it was like, you're lucky if you got Zofran, which is
Yeah.
like what people take when they're on
I took
chemo.
that when I was pregnant.
Yeah, yeah. So I take that. I take Zofran. That's like like whenever, like when I get off of this, I'm about to take a Zofran. But it helps with the nausea. I have the one that disintegrates in your mouth,
Hmm.
and that's a game changer for me. But like
Hmm.
I said, it all starts with your mindset.
Yes.
It all
I'm
starts
so
with,
glad that you are the one saying this because I don't, like I said, I don't have the words. You are living this, but that is something I thought to myself. Like I know from my situations with an S that mindset and like you said earlier, shifting it can shift some things. It's not going to change everything, but you have a new frame, a new lens to look through about any situation when you start up here, literally. So I'm glad that you're the one saying that in your situation. So thank you for sharing that. And Yawande also said, this conversation is so powerful. Thanks for your transparency. It has saved someone's life today.
I hope
Kids,
I did.
I know you did. I was gonna say I think, but I think because listen to the next couple comments. You're winning, girl. Key to Beauty One says that Yawande says, okay, I will be sure to add ginger to my diet. You just helped her. Someone else earlier, you said something that helped them, the nurse. Somebody else says, yes, mindset shifts. So you don't gotta question it. You definitely helping somebody, whether they're here in the live now or they're watching the replay. And I'll be sure to update you because I always get messages to
Yes.
share to my guests.
Yeah, no, I just really want to get my life back. My illness took my life away from me. Like I said, I was working at a college. I was there for a year. But after the second day of work, I took 6 weeks off.
Mm.
So the second day of work, so then like it was already a bad start. And I was a fundraising, I was a major gifts associate, and there was never that position before. And I also created a phone-a-thon program for that
Okay.
school where they asked for money with alumni. And so I'm capable. I'm very capable. But you know what? A lot of sick and disabled people are not even given the first chance. Everyone is talking about a second chance. Give me a second chance. Give me a chance. Give
Mm-hmm.
me a chance. I know my power, but one day when they see how powerful I am, they're going to be like, wow, she was in front of us this whole time.
Yeah, and I
And we didn't
overlooked
know
her.
that.
Yes.
And we didn't know. I don't wear my pain on my sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell people that I graduated from Trinity College in Hartford, they're like, "You did? Like, why can't I got a full ride, baby?
Yeah.
I left college with a surplus of money. They
Wow.
owed me money. And they helped me. I loved my college because they worked with me so much. Shout out to Trinity College because they allowed me to go to Italy with this disease.
Mm.
I had
Yeah.
a private nurse. They
Yeah.
gave me a private nurse. They gave me a nurse, like an assistant with me at all times. I had my own room in Italy.
Wow. They held it
And they,
down.
and then yeah, and I got sick on the plane, and I was in the back of the plane, where in the back where they have the food and everything. I was laying on the floor throwing up on the
In the
floor,
galley. Lord have mercy.
and they were just walking over me.
Oh my
And
God.
it was a 9 hours of torture, and then we had to stop in Germany, and I had to go to the hospital in Germany.
Mm.
And obviously, I don't speak German, so I remembered the Latin terms for all my medications, and
Oh
that's
wow.
how Yeah, and then I
You're
ended
a
up in the
badass.
and then I ended up in the hospital in the Dominican Republic. And let me tell you something, that was the best care I ever had.
Mm.
Best care I ever had.
Wow.
It
So
was,
are
and it
we
was
are we packing our bags and moving to DR?
and
Or?
for real, I need to go to where there's the sun and not so much moisture.
Hmm.
But like my doctors are here. I have a long relationship with that, and like with the type of medications they put us on, like we have to, continuously go every 3 months. And in a way, they kind of have power over you because you have to do this and you have to do
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
Um, but you also, like I said, is the mindset. I'm like, one of these days, I'm gonna stop vomiting. And guess what? After I did my first painting, I stopped vomiting.
Oh, wow.
I vomit like once in a blue moon. So like I feel like my CVS was kind of healed through art. That's why I want to make art accessible to mothers and their families, because when you heal the mom, it's
Yeah.
like healing the family.
In the
And
world,
I've had
honey.
that
Yes.
dream. And if anyone wants to help me make that dream come true,
Yes.
I would.
Please reach out to her.
Please
Yes.
reach out to me because I'm not doing this for money. I can't get any money. I'm doing it because I know my own experience has been hard, because I'm a single mom. And my mother, my daughter's grandmother, if it were not for her, my daughter would be in DCF.
Someone says, well, hold on, I gotta share my twin sister just joined, and she said I can't wait.
Ah!
She said I can't wait to see the full video. I feel so bad I came on late, but such an inspiration of resiliency already. You are a beautiful queen and such a warrior. Period. Thank you for
Oh, thank
sharing,
you.
Tajay. And then Wanda says, what is CVS? So she didn't get to catch the beginning. What is CVS?
CVS is not just a pharmacy. That's what I'm going to tell you. It also stands for cyclic vomiting syndrome, and it's a functional disorder where I get into an episode and I vomit uncontrollably. I vomit like 45 times a day. That's why the back of my teeth has been worn out because of all that forceful vomiting. And you're in a conscious coma, so you can't like react because it's so
Mm.
painful. You're sensitive to light, noise, sound. You can't stop vomiting, and there's a
My
lot of
my
things.
phone cut out when you were saying what CVS was. I don't know if it did that for them too, but just in case, y'all, CVS is cyclic vomiting syndrome. And then also tell them the other, because you have two rare disorders. She wasn't on the beginning.
Yeah, and also I also have abdominal migraines. I thought that they were like just one illness that people just use the words interchangeably. But like I said, when I started painting, I stopped vomiting, right? But the abdominal migraines didn't stop. But the vomiting has gotten much better. And it's so important, like to tell my fellow CPSers, the most important thing with this disorder is catching it before it gets into the active phase. You have like a short period of time where you got to take your medication and pray to God that you don't end up in the emergency room, because I'm
Mhm.
telling you, they tired of seeing me,
Yeah.
so I know them. But I've stopped going in 2016, so I'm proud of myself for that.
Yeah. Well, we are reaching the end, and you stayed with me longer than 45 minutes, and I really appreciate it. Yawande says, wow, you are a true warrior. Keep pushing. There's so much power in your testimony. Aaron says, I see a neurologist who insists my CVS is an abdominal migraine. I have no idea. I just need relief. I'm praying you get that relief. I'm so glad
See,
that you joined.
they call us, yeah, the ER says that we're drug seeking. And I know a lot of CVSers, when I told them that I was doing this, they said, make sure you tell them that they always think that we're drug seeking. And so they treat us like bad because they think that we're on drugs and we just want drugs. But you know what? We're seeking relief. We
Yeah.
want relief. We
Yeah.
don't care what drug it is. Just make us stop suffering.
Yeah.
So, and it's hard. And part of the reason why I stopped going was because, like I said, they punctured my lung. And I'm going to tell you, PTSD saved my life, because if I was still going to that hospital, I'm sure I would have gotten another infection and I would have died, because my last
Mm.
infection, they made sure they told me, if you get another infection, so I am thankful for every day that I have, even though I'm suffering through it. You have to be thankful for your pain too. And you got to
Yeah.
be thankful for your
Yeah.
suffering because it makes you who you are. And I think everything, the way the world goes, is always for your own good. For, you may not see it at the moment, but maybe Help Mommy Heal, the Help Mommy Heal project is what I'm supposed to be doing because I love it. Like, I don't know why I won't let go of that dream of making, art accessible to everyone, to sick mothers and their families. And then with that, with the whatever that they create, whatever money that they make, they can use it for therapy that's not covered by insurance. They're like, for me, cannabis, I have to spend $400 a month on that because it's so expensive. That's just not sustainable. But they don't care about sustainability. They care about making money and managing your pain, not
Yep.
healing you.
Yep.
This system is about managing. It's not
Yep.
about healing.
Yep.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be a business. It
Yep.
wouldn't be a profitable business model. The hospitals were not made for the sick people. They were made for doctors and nurses to go to one place so they didn't have to go to house. They did it for their own good. A lot of people don't know that the hospitals are a business.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Follow me if you guys haven't followed me and
Yes,
see my
follow
work.
her. Follow her. Definitely reach out, and you can see some of her art on her page. But she has more that she's working on, and just whatever she can do within limits. Like she talks about what her day-to-days look like. So if you need to exercise some patience with hearing back, just be patient. She's gonna get back with you and support her. That's all I can say. If there's anybody out there that's moved by her story and wants to help her in any way, you guys can discuss the details, I'm sure, and Dana will talk to you more about it. But I just want to make sure people know that we want to garner support for all of us, everybody in the Soul Tribe, whatever we can do for each other. And we're always here thinking about you, girl. And I'm just grateful that you felt moved enough to come on and talk with me. I know I'm full off this conversation. We didn't talk, we didn't laugh, we didn't share some deep truths, and I'm here for you in Soul Rise Essentials. And I think I speak for everybody else in the comments when they say they're here for you too and want to support. So y'all go support the sister whatever way that you can. And I think Instagram has this cool thing now where you can tap on the number of people that are watching, and you can actually follow Dana right there. So just tap on that number. You're not going to leave out of the live, and you can hit follow so you can stay in contact with her. This live is going to be up on the replay for everybody watching the replay. Thank you for watching. And I hope something that was said here on episode 3 of Soul Seed Conversations moved you, and I hope you learned something. Anything else you want to say, Dana?
I just wanted to thank you for allowing me to share my story because I just didn't think my story was important enough to share. But just sitting here and having people support me, I know that I have to fight. I know that I'm not fighting for myself. I'm fighting for every sick person. I want chronic illness awareness to be an important part of the Help Mommy Heal project because people don't know what it's like to be chronically ill. We just have a completely different life,
Yes.
Just me and you.
Did I freeze too, y'all, or was it just her that's frozen? I didn't hear the ending part of what you said because it froze.
Oh, what was I saying? Thank you. No, I was just thanking you for giving me the privilege to tell my story because I didn't think my story was important enough. No one wanted to hear about my sad life or my pain and suffering, but you made me realize that I should share my story. And my twin sister also tells me I should share my story. So thank you for giving me that pleasure, and we keep in touch. I'm definitely going to keep in touch with you.
Absolutely, girl. Absolutely. And one last comment someone said, sorry, y'all, I don't know what the issue is with the freezing, but I don't know. We're going to work on it. This is new for me. I'm new to Instagram, so we're going to work on it. Yawande says, I love the concept of art therapy. Please also share your work with children who feel alone dealing with chronic health issues, maybe the Children's Hospital. Do you guys have a Children's Hospital in Connecticut?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I want to go to the hospitals, and that's part of the Help Mommy Heal project because when you heal the mom, you heal the family. So while I'm healing, my daughter's healing. She is an artist too. Honestly, she's better than me. At her age, she knows how to do illustration. I don't know how to do it. Like I told you, like when I spoke to you, I said my phone froze.
Yeah.
But I wasn't gonna worry about it because my daughter would fix it.
Did she fix it?
She fixed it. She fixed it.
Good.
So she, like, so she has to have a different mindset because she has a sick mom, and I feel bad
Yeah.
because sometimes she wants her mommy and her mommy can't be there,
Yeah.
and that's a guilt that I carry with. I think every mom has some type of guilt,
Yeah.
but I'm working through that in
Yeah.
therapy. And if anyone who has this, please seek out therapy. It could be art therapy, music therapy, talk therapy, EDMR, everything. Just don't give up on yourself because if you do, your story will not be told. Thank you for
Yes.
giving me the pleasure.
You are so welcome. One last thing, we created a discount code for everyone to shop with Soul Rise Essentials. You want to tell them what the code is?
What is the code?
It's Dana 10. Your
Yeah.
name.
And then also, if you want, and for those of you who want to buy my art, if you guys say Darwin, Darwin, you guys get also a 15% discount because you want to know something. Charles Doring, the doctor that came up with the survival of the fittest, he had cyclic vomiting syndrome.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
he had bouts of vomiting, and so it's the survival of the fittest. Well, I'm the survival of the sickest,
Mm.
you
Wow.
know? So I'll be writing a book. Contact me, whatever. It's all good.
Get
Thank
money, girl.
you. Uh,
Thank you so much. And everybody, we will see y'all next month for the next Soul Seed conversation. Stay tuned. Everybody, stay well, be well. Peace, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.